All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we've got Jaron Ennis and his team making a prediction for the ERROL Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford fight. This in connection with some things that Terence Crawford had to say about Jaron Ennis. We'll talk about both because I think that they're very good insights in this video. But before I do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It don't cost nothing. And thank you guys so much for continuing to come by the channel. And thank you to everybody that supports the channel in the live streams we do pretty much every day of the week, where we talk about all things boxing. Let's get into it though. Jaron Ennis's trainer, BOZY Ennis, gave an interview about the ERROL Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford fight and gave an analysis of it, which I think is very, very, very true. I think is a very clear and obvious thing, and co-signs a little bit of a video that I had done previously. And that is that Terence Crawford must start very fast against ERROL Spence Jr. He has got to get out of his usual way that he goes about setting up boxing matches, because if he does that with ERROL Spence Jr., by the third or the fourth round, he is going to be out of the fight, because you're not going to be looking for a one-punch knockout against ERROL Spence Jr. for the reason, a reason that I had stated before, and BOZY Ennis had repeated, that ERROL Spence Jr. is very, very, very fundamentally sound. Something that people really do underestimate about him. People say that he is very basic, and they interpret being basic as being something that is easy to beat. But that is just not the case. Most things, when you talk about fundamentals, you're really talking about the basic skill set that you have in boxing, and the basics are the things that stand up more so than any of the frills and the extra things that go into this, that really go into any type of athletic competition. The basic means, or high, really good fundamental means, dude, that your hands are always, ERROL Spence Jr.'s hands are almost always up. They're always in a position, even after he punches, to defend shots. He's always there in a position to throw shots. And that's why he's able to put so much work in on fighters over the course of the fight. And that's what BOZY Ennis is saying. And he's saying, look, Terence Crawford has got to go, and he's got to fight ERROL Spence Jr. very early in the fight, because if he gets behind on those scorecards, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to catch up. And he also said if ERROL Spence Jr. hurts him, winds up going at him and winds up hurting him in the third or the fourth round, then the fight's going to be over very early for Terence Crawford. Now, myself personally, I think that Terence Crawford, I think he experimented a little bit with that in the fight with David Avanesyan, where he threw considerably more punches against David Avanesyan than he had previously. He really did, as David Avanesyan was coming in the last fight, he was throwing the jab, throwing a lot more lead jabs from the southpaw position at David Avanesyan. However, in doing so, he was also getting countered by David Avanesyan. So I think against ERROL Spence Jr., he's probably going to have to put a little bit more on those shots and really get ERROL Spence Jr.'s respect and make ERROL not want to engage with him in just an all-out brawl. But then in that case, you're then also dealing with the fact that ERROL Spence Jr. is a very, very good boxer that can fight from the outside, who has a very good jab and a very, very straight jab, and a jab that he throws a lot on the way in. And I'm sure that Terence Crawford is going to be trying to come over the top of that jab. He's going to come over the top of the jab. He also may try to slip the jab himself and try to come with an uppercut in order to prevent ERROL Spence Jr. from dipping his head and getting on the inside like ERROL likes to do. But and I'm going to say this in every video I do about this fight, and there's going to be a lot of videos about this fight over the next couple months, is that this is a fight that I think is I'm not going to say it's going into the fight, I think it's a pick 'em fight. I can understand why people would say Terence Crawford won the fight. Completely understand why people that say Errol Spence Jr. wins the fight. But at the end of the day, man, it really is going to come down in this instance to the execution of the fighters that particular day. And that's why I lean towards Errol Spence, because Errol Spence Jr.'s execution is based on fundamentals, and it is based on the basics of boxing, the basic building blocks of boxing, an excellent jab, excellent counterpunching, consistent work to the body. Even when Errol Spence Jr. has people hurt up top, he still winds up ending up his combinations at the to the body. If he starts with the body, you can surefire believe he's going to be coming back up to the head and then back down to the body. That type of that basic approach, that tried and true type of approach. When you're looking at the execution on 9 days out of 9 out of 10 days or 10 days, who's going to outperform whom? It's going to be the person with the more fundamental skill set, the one that has taken the approach that is more likely statistically and mathematically to pay off. Where you have somebody that is looking right to kind of strike gold and figure out some kind of hole in that. Where Errol, if you look at the people that Terence has fought, I don't think anybody that Terence has fought has been as fundamentally sound as Errol Spence Jr. is. So looking for holes and looking for gaps in guys that are more fundamentally flawed, they are going to give you more opportunities. Guys like Sean Porter, guys like even Egis Kalvanakis, and those guys that really that are not as tight with their guard, as defensively responsible as Errol, at the same time as being aggressive. I just think that BOZY Ennis is 100% right. Terence Crawford is going to have to do something to Errol and hurt him early in order to really do something, in that fight. I think the idea that Terence Crawford is going to be moving and sticking a jab and slipping punches and just, turning into Floyd Mayweather Jr., or better yet, he's going to turn into Pernell Whitaker all of a sudden. I don't see that, man. I think Terence Crawford is more suited to somebody who does get hit, but has very good power and very good reflexes and is able to land shots that are able to hurt the other fighter. Just don't know whether or not he's going to be able to really do that against a guy, like Errol Spence Jr. But at the end of the day, Jaron Ennis's father, BOZY Ennis, I think is 100% on with what he's saying. You let me know what you think in the comment section about what Terence Crawford needs to win, and if he starts off slow against Errol, that's just going to be a bad look, because Errol Spence Jr. already said, "Look, man, I'm stepping when that ring comes. I'm stepping. Like, ain't no mystery what I'm doing to you, man. I'm coming right at you. It's going to be a fight from the very, very beginning." And I'm telling you, man, I just came off that Ugas fight, man, and it was like, wow. That's exactly what it did to Yordenis Ugas. And Yordenis Ugas is a very, very good counterpuncher and somebody that you have to worry about, because he's got very good power too, and very cleanly hit Errol Spence Jr. After Errol Spence Jr. dropped his mouthpiece, and Errol was able to gather himself and still continue to fight back. But anyway, that's my take, and then wind up winning the rest of the round, in my opinion. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.